Agents of I.C.S. is a Monster of the Week horror podcast meant for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Why, hello there, everyone, and welcome back. We are currently in the apartment of someone who shall not be named. We have a little bit of information to acquire from Kaiba, then we shall begin forward looking for the red reel. Oh, hello again from 5 seconds ago.
Oh, it's you.
What's up?
Oh, it's me. All right, as we are picking things back up, right where they left off, you guys were in the process of leaving, and Kaiba, many thoughts are running through your head. Would you like to share them with us?
CD's Nuts is kind of an infamous name in my social circles. He's a troll, a dirtbag, and generally a dick that lives for nothing else than to piss other people off. Imagine my surprise when it turns out the guy has some standards. Doxing, the act of selling people's personal information or using it to threaten them or whatever, is considered a pretty big no-no for anyone in the dark web or the deep web for that matter. Exceptions apply, of course, for criminals, but that's a different issue. Targeting innocent people, however, in this case a innocent streamer, that's something that will get you blacklisted pretty damn fast, however. Now, whoever doxed Honey Buns, it seems Mr. Nuts has already taken out his vengeance on them, as they had drawn his ire. But to me, this was more of a personal matter. Sadly, I had work to do, but I would definitely come back to this. After all, my girlfriend is a streamer as well. Now, as for to answer Margot's question and mess with this guy, he'll point to a random cabinet. Ancient steak, authentic, but it's just a piece of wood and it definitely wasn't used to kill Dracula as stated. He'll point to a different wooden box. Ghost pictures, authentic, not any real use for them though, collector's item. He'll point to a beaded necklace hanging from the wall. Rosary necklace, authentic, can be found anywhere honestly. Next to the necklace is another charm. Jiangxi warning charm, authentic, same deal as the rosary, bit harder to get in this part of the world. He'll point to a about arm-sized statuette sitting on a display case. Idol of Yasma, goddess of law, family, fertility, and harvest. Supposed to bless you with finding, true love, healthy family, healthy offspring, good harvest, that kind of stuff. Also authentic. Except that it was cursed and it does the opposite now.
Wait, it was cursed?
Yep. You would know that curses are more of like a placebo suggestion item.
Okay.
So they don't actually do anything, except if he believes in them,
Okay, he can
So
keep
now
that
he
one.
knows.
His expression's all over the place. You're like, authentic. He goes, yeah! And then you add the addendum and he goes, aw. It's kind of over and over to every single one, including the ones that are outright fake, but...
Yeah, I mean, I straight up don't mention the ones that are fake.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in his room, probably.
Yeah, he's, as you're going down the list, he's not pointing to, but maybe casually leaning towards and or allowing you to see easier certain items. You completely skip over them and he just kind of deflates.
Well,
Anyway, my business is concluded, I guess.
have you ever seen that thing that's like when the worst person you know says something valid?
Yeah.
That's what this feels like with
Very
what's
much
his
so, yes.
face doxing those people or whatever in defense
he was-
of.
Yeah, he was protecting him, I guess. It's one of those cases where, the face behind the evil mask actually has emotion.
You're like, just typical.
I still don't like you, but good job.
And I don't like you, but you know what? I'll let
We'll
it
leave it at
slide
that.
for this time.
So other than all that and his absolute roulette of facial expressions, you all do indeed seem to be done here. And Mr. Nuts has already provided you guys with the information, essentially where he very firmly believes the red reel has ended up.
Well then, do you want to go there immediately?
Yeah, might as well.
Is
Well,
it in the neighborhood actually, or is it one of those, it's gonna take 2 days to drive there situations?
It's close enough by. It'll take a second to get there. Fortunately, it is somewhere where you're not going to lose phone privileges, essentially.
Yay!
Lucky.
Yes, the technology, the internet will be strong with you.
See, that would definitely immediately stress Kaiba,
What's that?
because he's a massive nerd. He's dependent on the internet.
Indeed. Good thing he wasn't in the last case then.
Exactly.
I imagine like something weird happening and you just reflexively going for your pocket every single time and you're going, ugh.
Pretty much, yeah.
That would have been horrible. Honestly, I did the same thing, so I know how that is. Anyway, you guys know that this is not incredibly far away. You guys could easily, within like a day trip, get from where we are now or the closest I.C.S. headquarters to this location. I assume we're all like punching in the location to see like, where it is and leaving now.
Yeah.
All right, leaving nuts in our past. The three of you look at the information that was provided to you. The individual that purchased this item is named Jack Danes. And as mentioned, he is indeed, well, a child, at least according to Nuts. And the location that he has provided for you, you learn very quickly, is in a very well-off neighborhood. So not tucked in the way in the middle of nowhere.
So it's probably a rich kid with an interest.
That would definitely track. Knowing this, it might also be a gated community. Obviously difficult to tell. We can, of course, look these things up online. So how do we want to go about this?
I mean, I assume we can do some like preliminary research in the kid's history itself.
I don't see why not. Is there anything in particular y'all want to know?
I mean, like, has he ever bought anything else like this before? Or is this literally like a first case?
In terms of that... I guess, sorry. Side note, for that wonderful recap, Kaiba, definitely add an experience. You should be at 8 now, I believe. Probably on the way there, because it's going to take a hot second. Kaiba, you're definitely, clued in. You discover that maybe he's interested in purchasing more odd esoteric items, but this is the first one he's actually attempted to purchase. Otherwise, it's, fairly normal going-ons for this child.
Other question, on whose bank account did he buy it?
Oh, definitely not his card, yeah, his dad's.
His dad's?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it was probably pretty expensive, right?
It wasn't cheap, yeah.
Yeah. We're from the bank. You've made a weird exchange lately.
And the dad's like, what? What do you mean?
Alrighty, so as we're driving there, looking at information on our laptop and such, or phone, we have big enough screens now at this point, what is going to be our approach for inquiring to these individuals?
I mean, you could be straight up about it or just go with the bug approach.
You know what? I want to make them think they have roaches. Let's go with the bug approach.
Alrighty, bugs it is then.
And I'll make the executive decision.
Sure. That also means that you have to be the one to steal the tape.
Oh God, I'm only good at talking, not at stealing.
Yeah, no.
You can keep them distracted, it's fine.
Can I distract him then?
Yeah, I want to say you can be like the shift leader, and we can be like the two lackeys who are actually doing the check-in.
Yeah, that sounds good. I can definitely just start going over like sanitary protocols.
Sure.
All right, perfect. Are we bringing which vehicle? Margot's big old truck?
As much as I hate to say it, it is not this job appropriate.
Your bug exterminator. So
wow, you're really maturing.
Surely the company has, specific cars that might be able to be fitted for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
We put a little roach detail on the side.
Yes.
Like a giant 2-meter tall roach symbol on a
oh my God,
statue
like,
on top.
What was that? Do you guys know that movie Mousetrap? No, it wasn't Mousetrap. It was that was a real
Red
thing
Rings?
though. No, it was that one where they have the really big house and it's that guy who like inherits the house and he's like fighting against a mouse that lives there. And there's this bug guy that comes and he has a giant roach like
I think
symbol above his
about, but I
car.
can't remember for life what it was about.
Same. You're triggering some deep memory, and I can't actually grab it. It's just constantly running from me.
Oh my God! This is gonna bug me.
That
was an accident, but that's just really gonna upset me if I can't remember what it is.
I'm sure we can find it. One of us is just gonna like have an epiphany in 30 minutes.
Oh my God! Please, I'm begging.
All right. Anyway, while you guys are setting up the truck, the van, getting somewhat appropriate bug extermination equipment, just so it looks decent, effectively. As we're getting all this nonsense set up, we will rewind ever so slightly to a few days ago. An individual is sitting in their home, minding their own business, watching one of their absolute favorite shows. But they can't help but notice there's someone watching them. It's best to put this into the back of their mind, of course. Don't focus on it, No one's home right now, obviously. It's just you. You finally have some time to yourself. But as you wait longer and longer, they find it harder and harder to focus on said show until all of this frustration and stress culminates in a sound unlike anything they've heard before. And after, a sudden pain on the back of their neck, akin to a scratch. And suddenly nothing. It's all gone. A trick of the light, a trick of the ear. Maybe they didn't get any rest. It didn't happen. We move on. We continue our show and shove it to the back of our minds. Back in the now, though, we have our Roach Motel ready to crush every bug that approaches us. And yes, indeed, we move over to this very affluent neighborhood. As mentioned prior, there is most likely a gate. So as you guys drive your little truck up, you see an area for entering a code, and you see an area for speaking into, most likely for guests.
So
The company have been able to make us a guest for like a routine checkup, I guess.
actually, I think that it would work better if it was a surprise.
Would it though?
Well, it's like a surprise audit. And actually,
Do
we're
you
from
guys have
we're actually
surprise?
from bedbugs.com. We're researching.
Do you guys have surprise bug audits?
No, you're probably right.
Maybe an apartment complex, not the other thing.
Yeah.
We could say we were getting a lot of complaints that indicate a large problem. We need to verify if they're accurate.
Yeah.
Sure. Who's driving? Who's doing the talking?
Well, think I'm doing the talking, but somebody else should do the driving. I actually think it would be very
I think it's
funny
Marco's car.
if Carson loves cars but doesn't have a license.
He only likes very expensive cars.
Yeah. He doesn't drive them.
Sure, I'll do the driving.
Oh no, I take it back. Even I'm better than that.
All right, so you're doing driving, and then Carson's leaning over to order, basically?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, as you kind of fling across Margot's lap, you all press the button.
God, you reminded me of the damn meme.
Yeah. Carson looking thick, though, but no one can see it. So you slap the button, you hear like a doo-doo-doo, and then after a moment, you hear a voice chime up going, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
Do we have a bug company name?
Company has something
Hi,
else.
we're from Roaches R Us. Gosh.
If you want assistance, it's not good.
Wait, I got
okay.
one. Insect cleaning services.
That's it?
I.C.S. Come on.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, it worked perfectly well, yeah.
We'll
All right.
go with that.
Maybe Carson's thinking of a name and Margot just like has an epiphany. He's like, ah, and then says it.
And he's like, oh God, yeah, sorry. We just changed our name actually.
She takes a
Still
second.
getting used to it.
She takes a second, maybe flipping through some pages and such, and goes, Alrighty, I don't necessarily have you on the list here, but that should be fine. Are we here for a standard inspection?
Yes, indeed.
Most perfect. We can get you checked in a bit later, but we've had a few of your folks swing by, not from your company in particular, of course. You are the first here, so congratulations. If you are going from door to door, please do not bother people, of course. Just head to the individuals that called you, yes?
We can go ahead and get started like that then.
Perfect, I'll go ahead and ring you in. You hear it beep again, and then another loud as the gate slowly pulls back, allowing you to enter.
That was a really perfect buzzing sound, Daniel.
Thank you.
Sound like you've practiced that.
No, maybe. Little.
Every night before sleeping, he goes,
Poor Melanie.
That would be so horrible. I think it'd be funny though.
Stop practicing the sound, please. You've mastered it.
And then you just
in the middle of the
just
night.
do it again. Every time you wake up.
Did that sound real, babe? Was it good?
It was great, babe.
Drop kicks me.
She cries.
Alrighty, you guys now have access to said neighborhood. Y'all drive on in, and as mentioned before, yeah, these folk are definitely well off. If there is an HOA, they most likely aren't, they don't need to be too picky. Primarily because everyone's yards, bushes, trees, all foliage is cut perfectly. as you drive around a bit. It's a two or so streets down.
I don't trust it when hedges are too neat.
I mean, that's what you pay for, I guess. I'm pretty sure these guys don't do it themselves.
I just think that people who have hedges that neat are a little too into the Stepford wives.
I'm about to say, is this still two separate wivesy for you?
It is, yeah.
Excellent.
It means we're doing it right, I guess.
Precisely.
Every single house is uncannily identical.
I will say a few too many of them are, but you notice there is definitely a theme going on here. So they change up enough to not it changes up not to freak you out too much, because of course everyone doesn't want to own the exact same house. That would be boring. Mine needs to be unique.
Mine has a blue door.
Precisely.
Mine has a basement with a torture dungeon. Wait, what?
What?
Soundproof, of course.
Is that included in the HOA fees?
They
Is
don't
this-
need to know.
Is it soundproofed? As long
I
as we
mean,
don't.
obviously.
Yeah, as long as we don't hear it, you're good.
No noise complaints, no issues.
Precisely.
It's all up to
No.
code.
Alrighty, and
Besides, the documents did not specify that we can't own a torture dungeon.
you didn't say I can't do this. Damn, you got us. Oh,
It's
you.
the sole reason that now they do have to put it in the
Yeah,
HOA rules.
yeah. It's grandfathered with this one guy.
Luckily, my issue predecessor. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say.
You're grandfathered in, but nobody else can have a secret torture dungeon.
What if I already had one?
I don't
Just
want to
did it myself.
share. Everyone's going to Phil's tonight for the torture chamber.
Horrible.
All right, passing by Phil's wonderful abode that definitely isn't creepy and or has something below it lurking, waiting. We finally come up to the Danes' household. And just up ahead, another seemingly perfect yard to match all the others in the area. You see an individual on her knees, and she's seemingly messing with something near the bushes. It's most likely flowers, as there is a line of multicolored, I'm bad with flowers, but, posies and lilies and things of that nature, just wonderfully lined up. You see her working from a distance. One car is parked on the outside. They have a rather large garage, assumingly where the other vehicles are parked.
Well, I guess we head over, right?
All three of you are getting out, I assume?
Yeah.
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 You all park, and do you approach the missus, or do you go to the door?
I approach the missus. Actually, you know what? I'll approach, but not too close.
Sure. As
I
your
don't
group-
want her to be weirded out by a strange man coming up to her while she's doing stuff.
Fair enough.
I whisper into her ear.
He suddenly appears.
Ugh.
I hate that.
God.
I know your secret.
The thought alone.
As the
Hate
three of
it.
you definitely don't sneak up, not creepy at all. She pauses for a moment. You see her working on something. She has a small shovel in her hand, and she turns to you all. You know, she's not wearing gloves, so her hands are currently very dirty. She has a little side ponytail on, and as she sees you all come up, her eyes light up a bit, and she gives you the one moment finger, kind of wipes her hand on her shirt, pulls out little earbud, and then goes to stand, looking at your whole group, not shocked or really surprised, just inquisitive. Oh, hello. What can I do for you all?
Hi. We are from, as you can see, the insect cleaning services, and we received a call about some infestations in the area.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, so we're trying to do some inspections around the area and see if we can get it narrowed down to the point of contention.
She thinks a bit and kind of taps at her chin and goes, did a manual call, or are you all coming on your own volition for, home to home?
Out of game. Are we doing home to home? Or are we going to say Emmanuel?
I mean, frankly, we probably do want to double check some of the nearby homes, just to see if they know anything about the kid that maybe the parents don't know.
Yeah.
So I would say that we received some calls from other houses, but the problem seems widespread, so we're checking nearby houses.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that.
She nods along. Says, oh, well, I would say excellent, but that's most assuredly not excellent. What kind of bugs are we talking about? Do we need to enter the abode outside?
So we'll have to check outside as well as inside. It is. Are we going with the roaches?
I feel like
If
it
we
should
want
be.
to have a backstory for okay, there's definitely roaches. We need to fumigate the entire house. Yes, that's useful. Yes.
Yeah.
But other options are, I don't know, ants, I guess. They also get everywhere. As I'm sure
Termites.
waifu can attest.
Okay, the
Um,
painkiller's working.
Good.
Melanie, you have ants?
They're in our bathroom.
It's Texas. There's bugs everywhere. It's getting hotter, so.
Texas.
No.
I
They're
mean,
not just
maybe
in
they
our
want
bathroom.
beach vacations.
There's a hole somewhere in our bathtub.
Oh, I hate
What?
that.
In the tile grout.
You know, ants are the worst though because they'll find like one minuscule, like microscopic entry point, and then they will be there for months.
Well, we put poison down and they disappeared in like 2 days. So
Do you not remember when that happened here?
what do you mean?
There were like ants all over my bed.
No, I do not remember that.
Wow, it scarred me for life. I hate
I
ants.
probably forgot it on purpose.
Well, unfortunately, I did not have that luxury, but good for you.
Thank God for the top bunk.
That being said, I guess I would just say whatever is the most reasonable thing.
I mean, you could also go with bees, I guess.
Carpenter bees.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking it needs to be an invasive species.
Yeah, I mean, bees you don't want in your house because they end up sagging your walls.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't want bees in your house in general
But
for
you
any
also
reason.
can't. You also can't.
I don't know what you're
exterminate them.
talking about. I love having bees.
I mean,
I love
bees are
wall
cute.
bees.
I prefer them over wasps, at least.
True. I don't want any bugs in my house.
Yes,
Let's be
yes.
honest.
Wait, but you know, also though, we have wasps in my house that just I don't know where they come out of the closet. I don't know where they're coming from.
No, go back in the closet.
Wait,
What?
you have
Seriously,
gay wasps?
every single summer they show up. I don't know how. I have no idea where they're coming from. All I know is that they like line the corners of the closet, but nobody.
Wait, are you serious?
That's
Yes,
probably not good.
we've had people come and look for like nests and stuff. They can't find it.
That's freaky.
It's the closet in your room?
Yeah.
How clean is the room?
What do you mean? How clean is the room?
I mean,
it's not like dirty?
Have you had a chance to empty out the closet to like really see if there's a hole somewhere?
Not fully empty out, but I think we've had somebody check underneath the house.
That's weird.
I mean,
It
they
is
only
really
show
weird.
up during a specific area of the year or time of the year.
But honest, like sometimes they come in the winter. They'll just be like really slow moving, which is actually better because then I can just kill them instead of screaming as they fly at me. But either way, I guess
Definitely
I'd talk to the lady. Whatever sounds the most reasonable.
Sure. We got bugs. Bugs are a problem, and she seems to be going along with you, but go ahead and roll me convince.
All right.
Also, we can ask him about sounds because bees make a lot of sound.
Excellent.
Could have been worse.
Alrighty, she thinks a bit and goes like, Well, if you just receive calls in the area, I mean, that's no guarantee that we're infected, but all the same, we definitely want to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely would rather the problem not spread. Yeah.
Well, currently my husband and son are both home at the moment. But really, you guys shouldn't be too much of a bother, right? You'll just be in and out, just looking at a few things.
Yeah.
No, man, we won't get in the
Most
way.
defense.
No worries. We are practiced in being as efficient as possible, and hopefully we won't have to interact with you guys really other than just making sure that the area is safe.
Understood?
And clean, rather.
Sure. Emmanuel won't really be too much of a bother, but Jack might follow you all around if he likes to get his nose into trouble occasionally. If he does, don't really pay him too much mind. Of course, if there are any bugs that might harm him, just let him know to move away, and he'll listen.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
She nods and moves over to the front door, opens it, and she shouts on in. She says, Sweetheart, it seems that there are some bug folk here. They just need to take a look around real quick. There are 3 of them. They shouldn't be too much of a bother. You guys will be out in, she turns about, 30 minutes or so?
Yeah, 30
Yes,
minutes
very nice.
max.
Perfect. And she says that, and then she hears 2 just, come back. She goes, excellent. She smiles to you all, gives you all a quick wave. She says, I'd shake your hand, but currently a little messy at the moment. And you know, she's got little fingerprints all over her apron currently, and some in
No
her,
problem.
some in her hair. She probably didn't really think about it. Was just fixing something. And I'll probably finish this. I might be in before you guys are concluded. You can let me know, or Emmanuel. He's most likely in his office.
All right. we will go ahead and get to work.
Perfect. And she smiles at that, turns about, and goes back to working with the flowers. Your group of 3 heads on into a home that probably makes you sick in terms of how much shit they just got. Realistically, these homes look nice from the outside, but on the inside, they got money to burn, very clearly. Various
Wish that were
paintings,
me.
sculptures, things of that nature. It is.
Is it one of those homes where literally everything clashes with each other?
No, everything is actually very
Like maximalism.
Yeah, it's actually very well organized. Definitely leaning more towards minimalism. There's not nothing, so it's not completely empty. There is a very you're not sure whose touch it is. Most likely hers. I forgot if I said her name, but her name is Marissa. Most likely would be her touch, as there are indeed some plants on the inside, some very earthy vibes and such, to make sure things don't look too, machine and technical and boring and flat and black, gray and black and white. People live here, not robots, I promise. But it's not too busy.
Well, you're not convincing me that they're not robots, but
I didn't say they weren't. They're doing a great job at covering it up.
Perfect.
Just a shutdown code.
We get to work.
Alrighty. So what is all your guys' plans? Looking up ahead, there is a staircase that moves on up to the second floor. The general opening area where we are at currently, the walls span up a good 20, 30 feet all the way up, and you see huge windows that are allowing plenty of light to come on in. This entry area is quite vast. Moving over to the left, there's a kitchen. Up ahead, there is a very large living room, most likely also where they do their dining. Seems to be connected with throughway from the kitchen. Huge TV, couch, all the usual stuff. It's a fairly open concept, but you guys can see your way around fairly easily.
Question.
Answer.
Items like these, do they give off I don't know the correct word. Do they have
vibes?
a
vibe check them?
Yeah, no, do they have a presence that
permeates, leaks out.
An aura?
Sure, an aura
Stuff.
that a tool could sense.
Oh, you mean like a ghost meter, but for
Yes.
other stuff?
Yes.
Are you trying to EMF the red rail?
Yes.
All right, Margot gets out her dowsing rods. But with this in particular, some items definitely give off, bad vibes and such. This one definitely does, but you don't have anything on you that can track it, at least from a distance. So you're not entirely sure.
Can we have a vibe check special move?
Would that be... Actually, no, that's a special weapon, sadly.
Not read a bad situation, but...
Okay, it's just I'm asking because if we're searching for bugs, we should probably have some equipment to search for, I don't know, holes in the walls or movement that
like a
naked eye wouldn't know. So I was thinking we could disguise that as an aura searcher.
Makes sense.
So you're basically saying we can't do that?
Not unless we're prepared.
Yeah, so essentially to find specific magic items, we don't have a Dragon Ball detector, if that's basically what you're asking.
Could I maybe use Trust My Gut to figure out where to go?
Yeah, so if you're looking for a specific something, you guys can always use Investigate, Trust Your Gut, things of that nature. If you're legitimately not sure where to go, realistically, just investigate, just walking around and I go to find things. That very much works because it can lead you into trouble. But Trust Your Gut would literally walk you basically to where you need to be. Obviously, read a bad situation. There is no bad situation, so in that sense, it's really nothing. But magic can effectively do anything as long as you are prepared. And you've prepared something effectively. So looking for a specific item, there's no just magic detector, that's not really a thing in this world. But there are everything that lets off its own frequency, if you will. So if you know what it is, you've experienced it before, and you're looking for a second one or something in the same family at least.
We have experienced it, right?
The concept, yes, but in terms of I.C.S. having one, they might have.
Right.
Of course, we can always flash back and say, hey, does I.C.S. have not a blank red reel, but a general red reel and blah, blah, blah. So if you guys want to go those routes, you definitely can.
Well, we can just do investigate a mystery.
There's a lot of house, so effectively you guys are all looking around that. So Trust Your Gut, Investigate, all those work.
Oh, I also have to roll.
Nice.
Oh.
I find nothing.
All right.
And I get experience.
Kaiba, you indeed get yourself some experience. Someone's very close to leveling. You guys are all super close to leveling, actually.
What do you get if you fail a mystery again?
General hard move, essentially.
You don't see anything. You're suddenly blinded by the...
Apparently, yes.
Yes, so...
by the magnitude of the situation.
In general, of course, there's a lot going on in this house, there's indeed quite a bit. You don't currently see either the two individuals that are living on the inside. You know that would be Emmanuel and Jack. But all three of you, like I mentioned before, we can have a fail with an investigate, but I still want to answer a question. It'll just be not as potent, of course. So the two of you, Carson and Margot, y'all can ask essentially a relatively vague question while you're searching around the house. And Kaiba, you'll be a little more vague, so I'll just be blunt and say you can't directly find it, but you can find something.
For reasons, can I say that I had the unfortunate favor of entertaining Jack with questions?
Oh, so he didn't. That would be funny, actually.
So I couldn't actually investigate anything. I was stuck with him.
So essentially that was going to be the consequence. Jack's going to hear you guys moving around. He's going to come on downstairs, and he's basically going to bother you. If you have a question to something, Kaiba, you can most definitely ask it. It just won't be as extensive or easy to answer because you'll have a child following you around.
Can I just ask if there's anything that would lead me to believe there's anything in the house? Like, obviously, a red reel is bad juju.
Yes.
Is there anything in the house like a locked door or something that
somewhere
like
obviously
Jack
hiding.
clearly doesn't want us to go into, or like it doesn't want us to look at, like his bookshelf, something like that?
Gotcha. Okay.
That he's not like super, not something that's like, don't you dare look at that, but like, oh, like there's nothing over there, you don't really have to worry about that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
If you ask that, you're just going to find his porn bags.
Yeah, and honestly, I love nothing more than using private information like that to mock somebody.
All right, time to bully a small
So just
child.
keep that in mind.
Excellent. You little nerd. All right. Cries. As you all are kind of moving about and looking throughout the house, Kaiba, yes, we'll just quickly let you get snagged on that. As you're looking about, you think you hear someone behind you, effectively stealthing, but not stealthing effectively. And as you turn about, you do indeed see a small boy that's looking around a corner, and as you sort of catch him, he quickly scoots back and then realizes that you've seen him, and he pops around the corner. You see a boy that is small. He's clearly still blooming into his teens. He's got scruffy hair that most likely needs to be straightened. The clothes he's wearing are very much I'm staying in today. But other than that, he looks fairly well kept. Maybe he's starting to outgrow said clothes, and he sort of gives you a wave. You can see he's holding a mobile game console in his left hand and waves with his right.
I'll wave back, I guess. You must be Jack.
He nods. What you doing?
Checking for bugs.
Ooh, like scorpions?
Hopefully not. That would be bad. We heard rumors of there being bees or something in the neighborhood.
Oh, I like bees. They're fuzzy. They're really cute.
They are. But if they're in your walls, then we have to take them out.
Aw. Wouldn't we just get free honey?
I mean, yes, but it would be dripping from your walls, which would eventually collapse.
He seems to think about that, and he kind of goes back to his console, and he's like...
I mean, we'll take them out, alive, of course.
You're not sure if he's playing a game or he's taking notes. And he kind of nods that and goes, all right, well, as of now, I'm here to ensure that your bee inspection is up to code. I'm your bee inspector.
Perfect. Let's get started then.
Excellent. Pretend like I'm not here.
And I'll distract him.
All right, and then he's sort of following you around as you're looking at what you can look at. But yeah, for the most part, he's just going to be following Kaiba around. And Margot.
I'll just be loudly explaining what I'm doing to him, basically.
Perfect. As Margot and Carson move about, like I said, each of you are going to get one question. There's an upstairs, there's a downstairs. There is also a basement that you guys very clearly see. It's not hidden, not locked away or anything. It looks like they probably use it for storage and such, actually. You notice that the front yard, where we currently are, pulls up a little bit. So there's most likely a way to get from the basement. There's probably a door that either leads to the backyard or something along those lines. If you've seen certain houses that are like up on hills, it's a somewhat-ish common design. So they're sort of, you guys are looking around trying to find what you can. Carson, you're looking for somewhere where someone might have been hiding something. Fortunately, Jack is currently distracted. Would you want to, let's say, to answer that question, there's definitely a multitude of locations, but fortunately, you guys have a pretty good amount of time.
I also grew up with a twin brother. I feel like that should give me an edge on how 13-year-old boys trying to hide things would give me.
Indeed. And maybe while he's following around Kaiba, Carson, this gives you the go-ahead to check out his room real quick. So I would say together, Margot, is your question along the same lines, or did you have a different question? It might be easier if I answer them both at the same time.
Carson's question is where the item is, right?
Kind of. Is there anywhere like weird that he would
Or
be hiding
anything
it?
that would lead me to it.
Yes.
See, the thing is, I feel like it can't be that simple.
I mean, it might be as a kid.
I will be blunt. You are going to find it. So if you have something that is slightly not related to Carson's, you can ask it now, Margot, or you can wait. I'll answer first question and then go to you. Up to you.
Yeah, come back to me.
Sure. All right. So to answer very quickly, Carson, you look around Jack's general little base, and you can see in his room, his little play area, if you will. Kid is very clearly a fan of all types of games: board games, video games, card games. He's got like Magic cards, Pokemon cards. I don't know if there's any newer popular card games, but he's probably got those too. He has a little wall set up with a bunch of board games. He has a table that if he has friends to invite over, or his family, like a little game section. His room is less a room and more what would probably stand off as like a second living room on the second floor. As you head on up, you do walk by most likely the room that Emmanuel is in. You can hear music sort of spilling out, but he's working at his desk, so currently pays you no mind. And you're able to kind of walk around this area. You do note that this room is probably bigger than the office that you just walked by from Emmanuel. So it is indeed quite nice. There's also a huge window for outside view. So this area is definitely well lit. As you begin to look around and try your absolute best to find where he might be hiding something, you do find some things, maybe a comic book that has like a boobie on it or something, or more cleavage or a butt. Maybe he didn't want to like show his parents. He's trying to hide that one. That would probably go with the rest of his comic book collection, but this one's, this is the personal stock. And other than that, there's not really too much necessarily going on here. No dirty mags, nothing crazy that he's hiding, really. You're not sure where he even would hide it in this room, actually. You've checked most of the major areas, and it is a reel, a literal like film reel. So those are pretty big. Those are very hard to hide. But this does help you to know where it's not. You were able to walk by the kitchen. It definitely wasn't there as well. And you're not sure if he has it. You're getting some sort of vibe that it was moved somewhere else, if it's in the house.
That it's been moved somewhere else?
Yeah, like I said, it'd be obvious if it was out or hiding. It's big. It's almost impossible to hide.
I mean, maybe he bought it as a present, or maybe he got caught and it's in his dad's room.
While you're thinking and looking around,
while I'm
yeah, Margot, what are you thinking?
I actually had a question that would have been pre-research.
Okay.
Was there anything to indicate why he had a sudden interest in this reel? I guess it's building off of Kaiba's earlier question, because you said that this was his first purchase, but there are indications that he'd be purchasing more.
So I won't have this cost one of your clues. If you're not sure what to ask, Margot, I'll just lead you guys to where it is in a second. But regarding that prior bit, essentially this is the first odd item, if you want to label it that way, that he's purchased. If he's purchased anything else on the card, and you guys are able to track some of it, but not like too much, obviously. It's relatively secure, and you don't want them to really know that you're looking into them. Can't tip your hand too much. But in general, very boring purchases, bills, food, things of that nature. Various card and board games, things that you can see that, Carson is currently looking at. From the purchase history that you're able to see, you can really only surmise that he bought it because he thought it looked cool. Maybe he thought it was a prop or something that he could add to his collection of just, fun, weird stuff. And his collection of fun, weird stuff is very, very, very basic. Posters, allegedly the quote unquote like film from The Ring. It's obviously fake. It's like signed by the director. So things like that.
Okay, so there wasn't like anything at school that might have happened that would make him want to attempt to curse someone, right?
No, not that you can tell. No. I'll say that question's a bit further out of line, so I'll let your question be that then, Margot. So in terms of a reason why
malicious intent, basically.
Yeah, so if you're looking for malicious intent from Jack, this seems like an instant purchase, to answer your question.
Oh.
Did he purchase it for himself though, or for like, I don't know, his father or something? Or
Definitely very difficult to tell. You'd probably need to ask Jack yourself, which would be a weird question because why would the bug guy ask that? So
yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it exists.
I'm not sure if I can roll for anything again for that.
What precisely are you trying to ask him? Because that's definitely a weird question.
Basically, I was basically going to lead into it from talking about bug stuff is boring. So what do you do in your free time? See, you're playing games. Do you like playing video games? Do anything else, Like what? See any good movies in a while?
Sure, roll me convinced to see if we can get this out of him. Because he very much wants to stick to the I'm the investigator.
Sure. I am terrible at these, by the way.
I believe in you. Hey, a 10!
Nice.
Oh, you're not terrible. It's just +0. -1 is terrible.
Yeah, that's what I have in tough. So
don't punch anything.
don't
or get
let
punched.
Me get punched.
Yeah, exactly. That's Marco's job.
Yes.
To both punch and not let others get punched. So as you're kind of discussing with him, initially he jokingly goes, "No, do your work. I'm here to watch. Pretend like I'm not here." And you kind of pause for a second and maybe think about, what's a different way I can approach this? And you start, as you move around the house, you can glance from down here. There are some games maybe he left out. He was like organizing a board game, popping the new chips out basically to see what they are. And you kind of glance that out of the corner of your eye and see, oh, okay, maybe he's interested in things of this nature. And you ask him, like, hey, interested in this, that, and the other. And he goes like, yeah, definitely. Like, games are great. And he kind of waves what's most likely one of the 3DS at you. And he keeps kind of playing with that for whatever reason. Not true. Once again, if he's playing a game or taking notes on you. He keeps aiming at you occasionally, so maybe he's taking a picture. Who knows? But as you're asking all these questions, he says, I tried. Well, I can't really buy anything, so don't tell my dad. But yeah, I tried to buy something that I thought was a game or a movie, and I guess it wasn't, so he took it from me.
Oh. It wasn't anything naughty, was it?
No, I mean, they didn't tell me. They just said I shouldn't have purchased it. They said it's not for kids, but not like in a bad way. More in a you can have it when you're older, I guess. I don't know.
No.
I kind of got in trouble, so I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, that's
part
fair.
of growing up, right? Making problems for yourself, your parents.
Yeah, my parents are. Lesson. Yeah, my parents are really cool though, so I kind of feel bad.
Well, then why'd you buy it?
And as he's kind of chit chatting with you, Carson, you look about a bit, and you can see that the office that the father's in, the room over, he has a bunch of memorabilia, similar to what I mentioned before. Some of it is indeed from film, which you kind of look over because it's almost too obvious. But as you're walking about, you see him indeed working away, writing, and you see what looks like a new addition to a collection of films, reels, something along those lines. Once again, maybe too obvious, but something about that is drawing you in, Carson.
Yeah, I moved towards it.
Would I, by the way, have been able to ask him or get him to answer the question what exactly he bought, if he even knows what it is?
Yeah, we'll say that he thought he bought a movie that his dad would have liked, but it wasn't a movie apparently. So oops.
Oops.
Or it was a naughty movie and they just won't tell me. But
Well, at least you have the right state of mind.
Yeah, I mean, I messed up. I bought it on his card, so I guess that makes sense that he would have seen that. So
he would just be laughing like, yeah, that's a common mistake. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I forgot they can check that, but oh well. They weren't that angry. Just kind of, disappointed. If I want to buy stuff, ask mom or ask dad to buy it for the other one. So I did learn something.
Well, you can always, go with the, but it was supposed to be a present cutesy route. You're still young enough to get away with that, right?
Kinda.
Yep.
I mean, I tried. I didn't really get punished necessarily, but they took away one of my games. So I got to do chores to get it back.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't get a chance to open it yet, though. I really like popping the little pieces out. It's really fun. I hate when they get stuck, though.
Yeah.
So as he's chatting about you, he starts talking about one of his favorite games to pop the pieces out on. And Carson, you see Emmanuel, indeed, working away, and there's off to his right, you see a couple films in a glass case.
Do they have anything written on them?
I was about to say, he's in his office, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, but I'm just checking stuff out, right?
Sure. As you walk in toward that direction, he turns somewhat surprised.
Sharply?
A little. You're fairly quiet and you're walking kind of straight towards it, so he wasn't full on expecting you just to jolt on it without saying hi first.
Oh, well, I do say hi.
Oh, okay.
I should have specified.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you were just walking in.
I assumed there was going to be some sort of communication, and I should not have assumed.
He was very focused.
You just do the hitman walk in. Snap a snack.
Perfect.
He's dead. Take it, run.
One and done.
As you greet Emmanuel, he slowly turns, does not immediately shoot you. No, I'm kidding.
What a shame.
I know, right? As he whips around, you see that he's holding a pen. He is dressed in a very nice like vest suit. His eyes look tired, but calm, relaxed, and relatively nice. You don't immediately get the "get out of my house" sense of someone who really doesn't want you here. It's more just I've been working for quite some time. Something else you notice upon closer inspection as you walk in is this dude has like immaculate facial hair where he does have it. His hair, nails, everything. This dude
Wow.
clearly has a
Does he-
self-care routine.
Does he look like he goes to get a manicure?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice. Well, I want to know if there's if he'll let me get close to that glass case.
He doesn't seem too off-putting. As you take a step forward, he puts the pen down, faces you, and says, "Oh, hello there. I assume you're the bug folk, yes?
That would be us, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're checking my room now.
Yeah, it would look like that. That does seem to be the case.
Have you found anything just yet?
No, actually, you guys are looking pretty good.
Excellent. Well, sorry for the mess. And there isn't really much of a mess. There's some papers that are out that probably shouldn't be out. The room is full of, you see, they're like VHSs, there's reels. He does have some DVDs, but they are definitely in the nicer, like more solid metal cases. There's signatures and a lot of memorabilia and such. Some signed posters and such on the walls as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He says, well, just be careful as you're looking about. Try not to touch anything if you can help it.
Yeah.
If you need my assistance, just ask. I am right here. And he offers kind of a tired smile.
I smile back, and then I get to looking.
All right, he nods, turns back to whatever he's working on, and just continues jotting away. Looking about, you see everything, as I mentioned before. But in that glass case, there are various reels lined up, and the one front and foremost, they're all in, well, not all of them are in a case. Most of them are, and they have something written on them. Reels need to be stored in a very particular way, otherwise they go bad. They just kind of rot, which is really depressing.
Yeah.
Or they go up in flames.
Yeah, or that. Sadly, very hard to keep that media going strong because it's physically impossible. Yay. But you see the one that's first and foremost is not in a case, and the reel has a red tint to it.
Oh, interesting. So it's literally a little bit red.
Yes. Most reels at the very end have that kind of red orangish hue to them.
Red from the blood of its victims.
And all right, this one's red all the way.
So I found it?
I mean, you're looking right
Is
at it.
that
It's just it's in a glass case. Yeah, I mean, this has to be it. It is like too literal and too obvious. It's just sitting there.
I'm gonna circle the room, checking things over, and then I'm gonna go find either Margot or Kaiba.
Okay. Margot's kind of moving about, searching, and you see Kaiba's currently being followed by a boy.
He's being
So,
followed by a boy. Okay.
is the case it's in lock?
Carson did not check, so he's not sure.
How
You're going
good?
to try to steal it?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. How good are Carson's lockpicking skills? If it's locked.
Considering you don't have any lockpicking items on you, you would tell me how good you are at lockpicking. That would just basically be an act under pressure roll. It would just be, obviously, if he's not in the room, easier, but you'd need some makeshift item to assist you to get on in. So that's more so your skills, you tell me. If you think you can do it, then as long as he's not present, you can probably
I
do it.
will ask him questions about a room that seems sus. So I'll give you time to do it.
I mean, it feels kind of wrong to just straight up steal it. Because they did buy it legally.
Yeah, but what are we going to do? Can we please have that tape?
I mean, we could at least, I don't know, exchange it for something else. Because it's just a visual piece anyway. Like a fake, basically.
Can we retcon that in there? We had the
I mean, sadly, it's not actually, can a red reel be considered a weapon?
A weapon? What do you mean?
Can I use my armory roll to have a reel on me to replace it with?
Not one of these, no.
Sadly.
You could have a reel that looks red that you
Just,
could prepare to have
yeah,
time.
just a fake one, basically.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Sure.
Like I said, if it has bad vibes, it's one of those like people, regular folk, even you guys might feel something, but you don't 100% know. So if it is replaced, no one's gonna know the difference.
You could also say you're a fan and you wondered if they'd sell it.
Yeah, I was also planning on doing that, but they seem to be planning on keeping it, otherwise he wouldn't have put it in the display case.
I do think it's a little weird that they've put it in the display case.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess, if he's a movie aficionado
But
or
isn't
a
it
director
like?
or something.
But it's not good content.
I mean,
Currently,
it
it
will
should be
probably kill you if you watch it, but
currently should be no content. Carson, I will say from what you saw, everything was well organized except for this tape. That's one of the reasons why it stuck out so much. Everything had a nice, like feng shui balance to it.
Cohesive unit.
Very much cohesive unit. This one is a cohesive bump on said unit.
Interesting.
So it does look like he just kind of popped it in there for storage.
no, sure. I mean, if you want me to try see if I can buy it from him, I'm fine with that.
Sure, let's try that.
I'll come out with my, I see you bought a bunch of movies. I too like movies.
Mhm.
Hey, is that a specific name of red tape that I was trying to buy myself 2 weeks ago before it disappeared?
Sure.
So you were the one who bought it from me. What a coincidence. How fun. Oh, he bought it without your knowledge? Can I buy it from you then?
As all this is
Perfectly on
transpiring,
script.
yeah, y'all are kind of moving about and whatnot. And we can say Carson and Margot, you're relatively close, but not so much that you're, of course, worrying Emmanuel. You're still doing your jobs, so it doesn't look weird at all. Kaiba, go ahead and roll me convince, as he wasn't expecting this, but you're not getting an instant, I am offended, how dare you ask.
I would help if I could, but I don't think I can fit into this situation very well.
I mean,
Oh, well, hang on. Okay, I guess I could, pretend to overhear something and say, "Oh yeah, you really wanted that."
Yeah, you know what? Don't
do you
don't
have
do
any
that.
of
I'll do
your
that.
fortunes left?
No, my help out is +2.
Oh, that also works, yeah. I mean, if you succeed, right?
Yes. I mean, even if I partially succeed, it's still +1, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll first, because for help out in this game, you can roll after. I don't
Well,
think Carson
if
or
he
Margot have
doesn't
one.
do
Hey,
well,
you're good,
Yeah,
7.
it's a success.
no, all right.
Perfect. Alrighty, so he thinks a bit, and looking you over, his expression goes from fairly neutral to only slightly annoyed, and he kind of gets up after sighing and stretches his neck. He's a bit taller than you were expecting. And he leans over to look at it, turns back to you, Kaiba, and says, "This one here, the red one?
Yes.
Oh, what interests you about it precisely? We did just happen to come about it at random. You recognize it upon first glance?"
See, I like buying weird things from the internet. Sorry, this is too personal, but this one actually caught my attention because it has a lot of, talk about it. So I was planning on buying it, but it got sniped, sadly.
Okay.
Which
He's
appears to be from your son.
yeah,
Nice kid, by the way.
he's nodding along as if he understands, and he kind of laughs at that part and says, "Yeah, oh, the rascal tends to get his nose into trouble occasionally. Nothing too bad, of course, but this set me back a pretty penny."
Yeah, it definitely was expensive. I can understand why, you'd be mad about him buying it without your knowledge.
I more so may need to make sure he understands the value of money. We are well off, but I don't want him just buying and having everything for free. By the time he gets a job and ends up moving to the real world, he won't actually understand what it means to work for something. So,
I can appreciate that.
if you already know the price, I'm not here to scalp you or anything, so realistically...
No, I'll buy it at full price, that's fine.
That's precisely what I was thinking. I happen to remember the price, and as he turns, he looks past the door, and Jack is looking around the corner and whips back around the corner real quick, as if to hide. And he kind of chuckles to himself. Then he says, sure. If you don't mind my asking, of course I don't mind being a collector myself. I don't necessarily go from home to home from individuals. So I don't mind too much. You see something rare you've been looking for, hard not to speak up. I can appreciate that. What kind of other things do you collect, though? Is it just movies, or when you say weird things, what do you mean?
You know what? I'm going to use my armory to produce a random item I have on me right now. Potentially.
Sure. What are you showing him?
Let's see if I have it on me. Apparently I do not.
Apparently you do not.
I don't have anything on me right now.
Do I have anything
I failed
on
to
me?
impress him. Well, actually, no. A sick would still be a failure. Unless waifu crits, that would be...
Sad. You really fumbled the bag with this one.
I mean, it's just to show something, I guess. I don't have anything to show, sadly. So I just ramble on about weird things.
Okay, so for helping hand, it says when you successfully help out. She doesn't need to get a full success. She just needs to get any success. So that could theoretically bring it to a 7 if you want to help out Margot. If you fail, of course, it gets worse. Okay.
I failed.
Hey, that's experience at least.
It is indeed experience. Weirdly enough, both of you are going to level from that. Nice. Okay.
How about I bring something out and Margot accidentally breaks it?
You bring up something that probably looks relatively interesting to him. And Margot, what are you doing exactly to help?
Comes in the corner.
It's going to go to shit. So whatever it is, you can fumble as much as you'd like.
Let's say I'm coming in distracted, like, hey, I'm still checking this room, but I need, and then I'll run into him and knock him over, or knock out something out of his hand, I guess,
Perfect.
because I wasn't looking.
Whatever you produce, Kaiba, Emmanuel sees it for a moment, and his eyes light up ever so slightly, and you can definitely see there's a level of interest there. Unfortunately, you couldn't fully reveal said item before Margot kind of slams right into your elbow. It goes hurtling forward, and it doesn't just break. It actually bounces off his desk, takes a small chip out of it, breaks in half, and then further breaks after it hits the floor. Emmanuel sort of stops with his hand out, going to say something, and he looks at his desk, very clear chip, looks back to the two of you, and goes, huh.
I am so sorry.
He stares at you for a good, long second, Margot. It's incredibly uncomfortable.
I'll look to Kaiba. Was that important?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That was only a, authentic war against vampires.
Okay, my question can wait. I will turn around and leave.
He follows you with his eyes as you walk out. And he looks you up and down, maybe not necessarily you, but your guys' group, slightly unimpressed now. But he's not going to, renege on what he already said. He clears his throat and says, that one's a bit wild. Preferably keep her out of this room going forward. In fact, I think if you're all this free, you've been here for Cooks' watch real quick, and yeah.
Yeah, we should be done.
I think it's about time you all get going. How would you like to finish this transaction before your associate breaks anything else?
Can I hand him my debit card?
I mean, I don't think he has a card reader, right?
Funnily enough, we actually do have a card reader. It's not on me. The wife has it.
Wow.
Yes, she runs a stand occasionally. So, mobile business, mobile payment. Give me one moment. And he leans over the railing and he calls for Marissa. After a wait, he calls for her again. And she kind of whips around the corner. She tells him where it is. And then they send Jack to go grab it real quick. And he gives you the, one uno momento finger. And after a moment, Jack comes running up the stairs and, smiling like, hey, I got it. And he's like, yeah, good job. Pats him on the head and kind of flips it around, facing it towards you and says, sure, type. It is the agreed upon price, which is definitely steep, Kaiba, but that's how much you paid for it. So
Yeah.
And he,
I would also hand him a card with the I.C.S. number for, you can call this number for any expenses to fix that desk. Sorry about that.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, scanned, beep, signed, all the good stuff. He walks on over, takes a key out of his pocket, unlocks it, pops out the red reel, gives it a look real quick, flips it in his hands, really gives it a good stare, kind of nods, and as he hands it to you, Kaiba, he remarks there's definitely something about this. I couldn't figure it out exactly, but as a collector, at least for items more like these, it's probably better in your hands.
Man, you should hear the stories about it, honestly. It's fascinating.
He smiles at that and
if he
says,
doesn't ask, I won't say anything. But
yeah, says, maybe you can tell me next time. But the tone is very much, I probably won't be seeing you again.
Probably, yeah. Before he leaves, he would ask one last question, we haven't found anything, but just in case, have you heard any weird noises or, I don't know, felt any stinging?
Stinging? No, not that I can say. In terms of noises, if you found nothing and I've heard nothing, sounds like we're bug free.
No, just making sure. Well then,
perfect.
Good day.
Good day. And as he turns, he kind of whips back to his desk. He runs his finger over that cut, like, God damn it, and gets back to working on whatever he was working on. You almost trip over Jack as he was waiting around the corner, and he's like, oh shit, and he kind of gets out of your way and he continues filing some things as you're walking down with the reel in hand. And as Kaiba's descending the stairs, Carson and Margot, what are y'all doing?
Well, I guess if we're done, I go talk to the lady. I like give her the seal of approval or whatever. That's like, hey, like your house looks fine. Thanks for letting us take a look. Really appreciate your willingness to help us out and have a good one.
All right, excellent. As you're talking with her, Kaiba, how are you holding the reel exactly? I know it's kind of awkward. It's pretty big.
I would be holding it under my arm.
Okay.
Like you would carry like anything flat, I guess.
And as you're sort of doing that...
And I would be quietly saying to Jack, like, I took care of your business. Now you make sure to take care of your parents, right?
He nods very happily. As you're heading out, he goes, oh, wait. And he like starts filming something on his DS. He turns it around and there's like a line for you to sign. I need you to sign here to confirm that the appointment went as was foretold. Please.
Sure.
He hands you the stylus and you kind of awkwardly have to sign it with the thing under your arm. But he's like nodding along like, yeah, sweet. He looks at it and says, this looks to be in order. And then he smiles like, yeah?
I definitely do not sign it as Kaiba, by the way.
Oh, of course, yeah. Whatever name you sign it as, he can't read it anyway, regardless.
Yeah. Like just a weird flair, I guess.
Excellent. So he's very...
Some circles, some dots.
Yeah, he's very happy with this. He closes it, gives you a salute. At ease! And he very happily walks away to go continue with his board game. And Carson, as you're excusing yourself with Marissa, she's very kind. Her hands are clean. Now at this point, she's getting ready to head on back in. She's basically cleaned up her general situation. And she says, oh, no worries at all. I'm glad you guys found nothing. If you find anything in the neighborhood, though, definitely don't be afraid to let us know. We can help out with our neighbors. And, if we need to do anything to the outside, I think I've been doing a very good job at keeping things clean. But some bugs just refuse to go down. And as you're heading out and you're talking with, while Carson's talking with Marissa, and Kaiba's heading out, right before your conversation ends, she goes to wave at you, Carson, and you notice her eyes flick from you to Kaiba to Margot. She's looking at your guys' group, and she's waving to you all as if to say, thank you. But her eyes linger on the reel for an extra second, and she stops waving.
Mm-hmm.
She looks up at Kaiba, and the smile kind of, for a moment, wavers, and she jolts her eyes very quickly over to Margot, going back to smiling. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Well, I definitely noticed that.
See ya.
Well, things like this do tend to attract attention somehow.
With that, the three of you are slightly poorer, but richer in terms of...
Oh, I mean the company paid for this. I'm not poorer.
To a degree, that they're willing to pay for things, yeah. As Margot's aware, they only extend so far.
He would definitely, in the car, make sure it's locked up in one of the safe boxes, though.
Of course.
Hey, did you ask the kid what got him interested in buying that?
No, didn't have the chance. Though I think he's just interested in weird stuff. As kids that age too, have the same face.
Yeah, but something had to inspire him to find it.
I guess it was pretty well hidden, honestly. But it was a bit weird to ask that.
Fair.
Having it back is the important part, at least.
Indeed, which you guys 100% now have. The day is essentially open. You got it pretty quick, so...
I mean, just in case, we definitely should be keeping an eye on them, though.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the wife's expression. I'm gonna text that to the higher-ups.
Was it more of a case like she was watching Kaiba, or more of a case she was watching the reel itself?
Margot would have seen that when Marissa was looking at each of you, her eyes very clearly went to the reel when she became worried and then back around. So it wasn't Kaiba she was looking at. You now have the item. Obviously, your task is to bring it back to I.C.S. so they can do as they will with it. But your guys' general job is to make sure this whole case, whatever it may be, is taken care of.
All right, well.
I mean, as far as we can tell, this part of the case is done, right?
You got it, yeah. I mean, what do y'all do next?
I can't remember. Did you tell us about the weird pull between the door, Carson?
Yeah.
That's sus, so that's something else to look into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can't just barge into a room, sadly. Definitely weird that it was in her room, though, if she didn't have anything to do with the actual mystery. Like, how common is it for that to be, like, a house or room with, like, a feeling attached to it?
What sort of feeling?
The one that Carson had.
In the apartment of Edda's, or?
Yeah.
That exact feeling? if it's that strong and you run into it that quickly without being there for long, that's a problem. You do notice that one of the main reasons why people don't find ghosts or apparitions or whatever it may be, whatever they want to call them, presences, curses, is you're not there for long enough. You don't see what the people living there see, or people that live nearby. So a lot of the times, the reason why, ghost hunters or what have you go in and look for something and hear a noise or two occasionally, they just didn't stay there long enough, whether it need to be a week or a month or realistically your whole life and it latches onto you. Nothing should react that quickly.
So there's a possibility that this thing wasn't so much in the room as it was attached to Edda herself, and it moved with her.
That was my question. But I wrote down, was actually a door there when Edda moved in?
Yeah, so we're mainly not sure because Edda doesn't leave the room. That's the hard part. So the general plan just to swing by, drop off the item, and then what?
I guess find out if they have a case in mind.
I'm going back to my haven to level up and potentially investigate our next mystery.
Oh, and can you research more about the streamer girl?
That's easy enough. I can ask my girlfriend.
Perfect.
Especially if we think this mystery thing has been following her around.
Alrighty, and regarding all that, you guys are able to, with relative ease, drop the item off. They will double check it to make sure it's the real deal, of course. You'll obviously let them know everything that you found, clue-wise, very much tracks. So this definitely 100% should be it. So they'll check it out, and they'll get back to you guys tomorrow. And then regarding kind of relaxing, if you know what you want to take for your level, you can do that right now. If you're not sure, of course, we can do it at the end of the session. Totally up to you.
It was going to be another haven option, that's for sure. But I was going either with protection spell, which would basically make my haven safe from monsters unless they dedicate massive amounts of time on it. Or I would do Mystic Library, which gives me a +1 to using magic. But I don't plan on using magic often. But a +1 is very useful if I use it.
So the nice thing about that is magic does require forethought with how we're doing things. That would actually be very useful, because using your Mystic Library is indeed forethought.
Exactly.
That's perfect, actually.
I also have Magic Laboratory for that, so I actually have the items. It's more so that I would have 2 haven options for something I probably won't use a lot, but it's still useful.
If you guys have any input that would assist him, obviously up to you. That won't make you choose now. And then, of course, I believe, Margo, you also got one, so you can think about yours as well.
I mean, like, when I get stressed, eventually, I will start using more magic, because that's his thing, but his stress action, I guess.
But for the three of y'all, as you're kind of, doing your thing, Kaiba, you guys are like doing research, you're talking with, do you say it was your current girlfriend as a streamer, Kaiba?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you can definitely look into that a bit. What precisely do you want to know about Edda?
I guess, like, how sudden of a change was it? I mean, I'm not sure if she knew each other, but...
Going off of what we know, and additional information that she can provide, because she's, of course, on the scene, it was definitely very sudden, almost as if, people have our emotions swing. We're human. That's how they work. So that she had some off days, of course, but Edda, in her fuzzy buns persona, was always very chipper, kind of always doing her thing. Your girl kind of realizes that sometimes she would skip stream, like, oh, gotta hit it, guys, sorry. More frequently, she doesn't hit every stream. Once again, we're only human. It's okay. But it happened more frequently. And then, notably, on some of her final ones, before she just went dark, there were moments where she just kind of turned off, like emotionally, leading to believe that whatever someone was doing to her on the outside happened quickly, or it escalated, one of the two. And then she just, boom, gone. So that definitely links up to what you heard from CD's Nuts.
Would it be possible to find a link between, people in chat and her sudden change in emotions? Like when a certain person showed up, suddenly she was different.
Oh, trying to see the perpetrator, basically?
Basically, yeah.
Let's say that'll probably take a hot second to investigate.
I mean,
so
could I use my sleuthing for that, actually?
You can use that or investigate, honestly. Both are apt, I would say.
They give me different advantages, the question, so I guess ask the group what they would prefer. Like, if I do sleuthing and I roll success, then the keeper has to basically tell me where I need to go for this, or where the issue is, and I get a +1.
And what's the other one?
For investigative mystery, I just get questions, so at least.
I think sleuthing might be more interesting.
If I fail, however, I will be placed in the worst spot possible.
What's the worst that could happen? We're farming experience this session.
Right, I went with the magic option, by the way.
Roll them bones. Nice.
Keeper will tell you a general direction to go and take a +1 forward as you explore that, so I know where to go.
Okay, so let's pocket that for a second. This will take your day, effectively, Kaiba. As I mentioned, for Carson and Margot, you guys don't need to do anything as extensive as what Kaiba's doing, but for this day, are you guys doing anything in particular or just kind of relaxing?
BFF.
Is my health still at 2?
It will go down at the end of the day.
Can it go down by 2 if I relax?
It goes down 1 per day. You're fine. Unless you guys get stabbed overnight. it'll be 0 soon.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that then.
Okay, cool. So to be relaxing.
Unless you guys think there's anything I can do.
Essentially, the downtime moments are just opportunities for roleplay. So if you want to like talk to an NPC, do anything of that nature, this is basically the moment for that.
No, I think I'm okay.
All right.
I'll just wait for Kaiba to figure it out.
Sure thing. So we'll cut back over to Kaiba. And as you're looking into all the information that you have received from all your various sources, are you looking for like a specific individual, or like I guess how much do you want?
I mean, I guess I would be following up on Margot's question, like what exactly was causing it? Like, is it people or is it something more?
Okay.
And following that.
Yeah. Looking back at some of her VODs and such, and just, hearsay from various individuals, you can see and kind of connect certain names in chat. Now, she was real busy. I don't need to tell you how crazy Jack can get with some folk. But you do notice a particular name would come up, and we know there are so many creeps online. They just need to stop being creepy. We're people. Don't be a loser. And said losers, you've been in chat when someone types something that's not necessarily outright rude, but it makes your skin crawl. It's just like, don't do that. It's a line too creepy, and you're not familiar with me enough for it to be funny, and it just becomes not great. You see, we'll say a consistent case of this, Kaiba, with a certain individual continuing to kind of not like provoke her per se, but almost like, I'm here, I'm watching. And like the way they would say I'm watching didn't say like, oh, I'm here to see your stream. It's like, I'm watching. It just felt off. And every time she would see that, that's not how you introduce yourself in a stream. Her persona would, for a moment, waver. But she'd try to get back to what she was doing. So you're able to pretty easily connect this to what looks like, at least, an individual that had it out for her. And maybe they spread their bullshit toxicity to other folks as like, a game, let's just be mean, because we can. And they thought it was, a game. So they kind of did the same thing. People ain't got nothing better to do, apparently. So you see plenty of that with maybe not one person orchestrating the whole thing, because various folk will go off and do their own thing. But there is definitely one name that sticks out amongst the others, or one screen name at least. Are you trying to find like the person or like their screen name specifically?
I mean, he will probably start with screen name and go from there, like find out who it is.
Okay.
And where to find him.
I'm trying to phrase this properly, because trust your gut is definitely like a physical, like I'm standing here, where do I go next? So we're taking clues and trusting your gut effectively, but that definitely still works.
I mean, in this case, I'm basically relying not on my gut, but on the extranet, like the background of weirdos that I speak with.
Yeah. So
hey, do you know this guy?
Right. So we can find that this dude's information, wow, weird, somehow got leaked. Who could have been involved in that?
Strange,
right?
right?
What a shame.
What a damn shame. So you find out that this particular troll, for whatever reason, had it out for Etta. You really don't know why. There could be a multitude of nonsensical reasons. It's not important, actually. But you do find their name and their address, but you do find, on top of that, a lot of extra information of other names and addresses. But all these alleged bits of information, Kaiba, are bullshit. Because one specific line is written by the lad, the legend, CD's Nuts. That is the true information. So you have this person's name and technically their address if you want it.
All right. I would text the group WhatsApp, right? Yeah. I got it.
Ooh, let's go.
Remember, this isn't technically a job for I.C.S, so discretion.
It could be.
Potentially, but we don't know yet. Though there is a chance.
All right, would you be doing this on the you know what? We'll say this is the next day. That makes the most sense. Overnight, Carson, Margot, y'all got some rest. You're doing good. Kaiba, you got a little less rest, but hey, you got some information. So by the time the morning rolls around, you text your friends, and we now know where Douche Nozzle currently resides. What is our plan? What are we doing with this exactly?
Well,
I mean, we aren't planning on being subtle.
no,
Surely.
not at all.
I mean, we could technically just see if he is using any kind of weird magical bullshit. Prepare with my magic detector, I guess. That I totally have.
Definitely.
Basically, just check if he is responsible for the weird thing that is following Edda around, or is in a room, I guess. And if so, shut it down.
Alrighty. I'm assuming the three of you are just gonna walk up to this dude's apartment and knock, knock, knock.
Yeah.
Alrighty. As this is the internet, the dude's
Would
relative.
you like me to use the mask that I have to turn into Edda? Beat the shit out of him? Actually, I shouldn't do that. I have a negative tough.
Let's make sure he's actually responsible first.
Sure.
I think the
I think
person
I was
most
fairly certain that he's responsible for the creepiness and doxing, right? Just not the magical part.
In terms of certainness, Kaiba, you are 99.9% sure this is the guy that like doxed her. 100%.
beat him up, dude. He
Yeah, we
deserves
just, we
it.
just
I
don't know
mean-
if he did the magical stuff, or if that maybe Edda's a witch and this is just her emotional outlet, I guess.
Interesting theory.
No, it's possible.
Alrighty. Well, this is definitely a drive. So it'll take another day or so. Obviously, internet, so not going to be close. Unfortunately, they're close enough that we're not taking a plane or anything, so absurd as that. And eventually, a little later in the day, we leave early, fortunately, but we do arrive at this tool's apartment. His name is Kyle.
Ooh,
Ah, yes, definitely
typical.
a Kyle.
He's on the second floor, should still be here. His old address that was leaked is indeed his old address. We know that he's moved, and because there's so many random addresses, no one knows what to believe. And honestly, no one really wants to, not no one, of course. We know someone wanted to, give this guy, give this pig a poke, if you will. But too much information, unfortunately, drowns in nonsense. But we are incredibly certain he is here.
I'll bang on the door aggressively.
Get out the magic detectors.
All right, as you start just jamming on this door,
Is there anything I can roll for that, by the way? Vibe check?
I'll just let you know if it functions, basically.
Sure.
For this situation in particular. From the outside, you're getting no good or bad vibes. However this particular magic detector works, you're getting nothing. And you definitely get a delayed response at this. Eventually, the door is opened. A rather stout individual that, clearly was not expecting guests today answers, pizza in hand, scratches at himself, looks at, I guess, just primarily you, Margot, in the somewhat dim lighting. The sun hasn't completely set yet. Oh, what do you want? What can I do for you?
Health inspection.
Health inspection? What? We already had one.
How long ago?
Man, I don't know. I don't schedule them. Are you saying health inspection to get into his room, or
Actually, I'm just going to shove in.
you're just going to push your way in?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll me act under pressure to just jump on in before you can respond. Margaret got the feeling I was going to ask her to roll with convince.
Yeah, which I didn't want to do.
Ain't got time for that. Alrighty. Perfect. So as you probably go to ask again, and he very clearly doesn't look like he wants to, he kind of goes to close the door, and his pizza slips, so he has to reach out and catch it with his other hand, giving you a window to pop this sucker open. He goes oh, and you're able to quickly whip in, and the two of you follow, I assume?
Yep.
I mean, sure.
Very easily. The door is closed behind. He kind of panicked and squeezed the pizza and smashed it in his hand. And I was looking at oh, damn it. And looking at you guys, his apartment is currently as messy as he is. But he has the fear of God in his eyes. He's looking at Margot what? Am I dead?
I mean,
Yep.
above board, what's the approach we're taking, by the way?
Whatever this is, apparently.
Are we just going to threaten him, or?
Yeah, I was going to do straightforward.
Right.
So, Kyle.
Yeah?
Make sure to say his full name.
Okay, I'll say his full name, and then I'll follow it up with his username.
Including his middle name?
Yes.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Even his birth, was it the nickname you get as a child? Do you have a name for that?
Nickname? What?
Do you not have stuff like that?
No.
It's not official, but like,
Oh,
the thing
okay.
your parent calls you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like your government nickname. I'm like, what?
No, you don't have a government nickname?
Yeah, I was like, what are they calling me?
You don't go by Squiggle Poop 559 or something?
So it depends on my mood. But yeah, maybe you can say we dug up some information like that. You throw various words at him that in terms that no way most folk would know. He takes another step back and almost slips on an empty pizza box. And he just nods as to say, yes, me.
So, you've been harassing a certain streamer, and I'll say her name too.
I stopped. That was a while ago. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, did you though?
Learned your lesson. What would have caused that?
Some other guy. Apparently, I pissed somebody off, or it was her. I don't know. Look, I've moved like twice. I get it.
I'm not sure you did. But let's find out, I guess. And I'll just start walking around and doing my magic detection bullshit, I guess.
Very quickly, he reacts like, "Come on, man! Like, don't. What are you? What are you doing actually? Like,
I'm gonna grab his arm.
oh
Don't
shit!
worry
Okay,
about it.
all right.
Sit still. In fact, is he standing or sitting?
He's standing. He almost fell over.
I'm gonna shove him down into a chair.
He drops his pizza.
No,
Oh.
for effect, I'll point at the thing, whatever it is. If this thing starts beeping, she's gonna punch you in the face.
Oh, okay. Is that the only thing?
Someone is still bothering her, and we think it's you.
Listen, I swear I stopped. Am a bad person. I get it. I made a mistake, and bad things happen to me.
More
And
than a mistake.
I know. I know. I get it. Are you gonna like beat the shit out of me? You're not killing me, are you?
I'm gonna smile ever so slightly.
I won't say anything. I just keep doing my thing.
No, come on. At least say
You know what?
something.
No. You know, the place where you and I reside on the web, it's dark and full of people. And if you say the wrong thing in the wrong place, yeah, you can end up dead. And I'll just leave it at that.
He gives you a look as if he has no idea what you're talking about, but scared, like super scared. As if to say, like, oh, I don't know. I don't actually know what. And he looks like he's like fully, he's not fighting against you at all, Margot. You sit him down with his arm like pulled behind his back. And he's not trying to fight you whatsoever. He's fully putty in your hands.
He mentioned he's learned his lesson. Do we know what that's about?
I mean, we know that CD's nuts doxed him back and he had to move twice, apparently.
Okay, but he just said bad things had happened to him.
I mean, I'm sure he also did other things.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and ask him to elaborate on what he's done and what happened to him as a result.
Essentially, he kind of goes down everything that he did to Edda. Do you want to know like why or like what he did? But because
I want to know why and
I mean,
what.
the why, yeah.
Okay.
Like, if someone set him up to it, I guess. If it's just a shit.
Yes. So the what you guys already know. He literally just like released information about her. He was really, really creepy in chat. He released somehow photos of her like out of makeup in her apartment, not like naked, but in various states of undress, like in her bra, panties. Really, really creepy, pervy shit that he should not have had. 100%. Yeah, super creepy. Definitely released all that shit. And the more he's recounting it, he is like cringing as he says it. But I'm assuming you're tightening your grip as he kind of goes down this laundry list, Margot.
Yeah.
And he doesn't stop. He indeed continues. As fortunately, the machine you have on you, Kaib, is not going off. And then when you ask him the why, he kind of mumbles to himself without giving like a solid answer. And after waiting a second, he's like, I was your, at one point, I was your biggest fan. I mean, we were good friends. I talked to her every day, and then she just like started ignoring me.
And that's why I'm speechless.
Real friends don't do that to friends.
I helped her so much, and I gave her so much money, and I was always there for her. She was weird.
You're telling me you wanted this to be a transactional relationship?
Well,
I'm gonna squeeze his arms harder.
Yes.
Maybe a little. I mean, I threw some money her way, yeah, because we were buds, and I thought that's how I helped her out. And she got all weird when I went to go meet her. She went shopping, and I said, hey, and I don't know, she gave me a look, and then she stopped talking to me.
I suspect.
Did you tell her you wanted to meet her, or did you just show up on her doorstep one day?
Did you just show up?
Yeah.
And you don't think that's creepy?
I thought we were friends. That's not weird, right?
I'm telling you right now.
No.
You have not learned your lesson.
Well,
If you don't understand why that was weird, I think you need to do some self-searching here. Some soul searching.
Like, when he says friends, does he actually mean it, or is it more of a case of like he thought he was a friend?
yeah, definitely, definitely
Okay.
thought, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And he's really looking down like, oh man, and deep down as he kind of be twisting his arm and goes, oh, okay, maybe yeah, it's weird. All right, I admit it. It's off. I don't do that anymore. I'm not bugging her. I'm not bugging anybody else. I'm trying to do my own thing now. I don't know. You're not gonna pity me. Obviously, I don't want you to. Obviously, what it was shitty, it's stupid, but I was lonely. It's not an excuse. I get it. Just don't break my arm, please.
You're doing great, just talking away.
You know, Margot, that you're not close to breaking his arm. It hurts, but like he clearly doesn't know what it's like to have your arm broken. You're nowhere near that.
I know the moment. Don't worry.
Yeah, and his face is like, oh, I'm dying.
How did he get the pictures?
He took them himself.
I'm sorry. I still don't think he understands what he did was wrong. I think
The real
he
question is, does he still
feels
have them?
bad because
Oh
got in
yeah,
trouble
does he
for
still
it.
have them? I mean, he's a
I mean, he
sugar
said he
daddy who
erased.
wanted more.
He said he erased them, but
All right, well,
And
I don't
in case
believe
you're
it. I
wondering,
think
no,
we should
Kaida
double
just
check.
wants them to see if he can see ghosts on them or something.
In terms of all the photos and everything, he lets you guys know that, and you can tell when he says this, the way that he says it. He says, I deleted everything I released about her. I promise. I know she moved. I know she's not there anymore. All this stuff was deleted. Trust me. And you
Man,
can
if
tell
only-
he's being truthful.
If only Jade was here, he would literally be able to say that.
You can very much feel without knowing that he's being truthful. Whatever Nuts did to him or said to him scared him enough to actually delete all the shit and not like keep it back up.
I want to know what Nuts said or did, because he seems a little. I mean, moving twice is a little serious for just a simple doxing.
A simple.
I mean, I don't think a simple doxing is simple.
I don't think a simple doxing is simple.
No. I mean, if you want to speak with CD's Nuts, I can send him a DM and take a picture of this
here's the
guy.
thing.
I'm sure he'll
Here's the
react
thing.
quickly.
He said he's moved twice, right? But he still doesn't get that he was really creepy. He doesn't get it.
You want me to punch him then?
I don't know how to make him understand that it was creepy though,
Realistically, if you want to like sit him down, you're like, hey,
Well,
nerd,
I mean,
listen.
All right. I sit him down,
I'm
put
sure
my
he
hand on his
realized-
shoulder, and I'm
sure
like,
he
hey,
realized
nerd.
when we showed up on his doorstep.
Actually, could I give him a very stern talking to?
Oh, very much so, yeah. So the vibes he's getting you is he was threatened before, but he cannot handle this at all. So he's constantly breaking eye contact. He is sweating up a storm. Dude's like shaking. He's probably not had to deal with like physical confrontation before, or if he did, it was very much a shower confrontation of like, yeah, I'll kick their ass, and then you actually do it and go, oh god, no. So it was 100% one of those deals. And
Okay, I want to give him a really, really stern talking to. Go on.
Yeah. Maybe you loosen up a bit, Margot, so we can actually listen and not like piss himself.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And while that's happening, Kaiba, you're looking around and you're not finding any beeps, any boops, any bloops. You're finding a lot of stuff you maybe didn't want to see, but nothing outright illegal, at least. And Carson, as you're kind of sitting him down, he's panicking, and maybe like a light slap on the cheek, like, hey, look at me, seriously, stop,
Relax.
yeah, calm down, like seriously, this is what I'm saying. And you slowly like run him through of like what you did is not okay. This is why it's not okay. What happened to you, the fear you're feeling and all that, she felt that, etc., etc. Except you're some random dude. She's someone that there's probably other folk like you want to see, want to get to. How does that work when they know where she lives and they know what her name is? And he's like, you can kind of see realization spark in his eyes, as if this happened to him maybe once or twice. Maybe something you would have found, Kaiba, is that maybe CD's Nuts sent some people to his apartment as a warning, effectively, not to like knock like you guys are doing, but to stand outside the window and look tough and look like they're going to do something. You get an hint or an idea that he was threatened in that sense. Maybe they didn't cross the line, but that scared him enough to move. And then he probably did it again, which scared him to move again. Something along those lines, at least. And after you explain this to him, Carson, like whatever you're feeling, multiply that by like 100.
Yeah.
And then he's slowly kind of nodding and past the pain, the realization's kind of hitting him like shit. And then as you're, like, dude, you're some random guy online. You're the whole sugar daddy thing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, she's playing a character. You didn't know her. You knew Fuzzy Buns. Think about that for a second. Come on. She's nice to everybody. It's her job, basically. It's like an actor. You don't know, like, various actors. You know the characters they play. You see them in interviews, but is that even them? As you're explaining all this, he's nodding as if to say, you're not sure if he fully gets it, but whatever you said hit a chord somewhere. And he's nodding along.
All right. So I feel like he kind of gets it.
More than before, yeah. A lot more before.
Right.
He has something to chew on now.
I do want... I feel like somebody should check in on him periodically to make sure he hasn't reverted to his old ways.
I mean, this is a mental health check.
Question, by the way.
Answer.
Since I used my sleuthing thing, is the take +1 forward, is that for everyone or is it for just me?
So it is technically for just you, but if there's something that will require a roll here, I'll let you pass it around.
If Carson wants to roll something, I can also give it to him.
What could I roll?
Really depends on like what you want to know. He's currently an open book because he's folding under the pressure that's Margot.
guess.
I'm gonna do
To make him change his ways for forever.
So I have Grifter for convince someone. Can I ask what will convince this person to give me the answers that I want?
Yes. So there's no roll for this. We'll cycle back slightly to what you've already said to him to like let's further solidify this since it's definitely a major point that we're trying to make here. Showing him and like really like, all right, Dumbo, like look at me, ignore the person trying to break your arm for 2 seconds. What you did was wrong. That was not okay. So as you're telling him all that and you're really, really hammering it home and you're really trying to like show him stuff, maybe you can like give him other examples and such that will, I mean, shit, you have felt this same feeling, bruh. So, yeah. So, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to roll me convince Carson to full on, so you've already said this, but this is basically the home run, hammering it home. Fortunately, Kaiba's +1 brings that to a success. So not a failure. There you go.
I've rolled like twice this entire time, and both of them were iffy. I don't want the experience. I want this guy to never do this to another person again.
So you do fall and get your success. Kaiba, you are having major issues finding anything magical in this abode.
I mean, that's good.
That's a good thing, yes. It's actually fantastic. Sometimes lack of information is information. But while you're telling him this, maybe like a surge of panic kind of comes through him, and he wriggles a bit. And Margot, you since you loosened up, you get the feeling that he might like pop out of your grip. So you go to like push him back down?
Yeah, I will.
As you do that, he kind of flips the wrong way and moves like a fish, and you're not fully able to catch him, but his foot catches on the leg of the chair, and he unintentionally flips it under himself, and he just eats shit on his shoulder, just slams into the ground. And unfortunately, with the extra pressure that you added, Margot, you really slam him down there. Now, he is pinned, he ain't moving, but this is sort of an awkward position, and you know for a fact he made a relatively loud sound. After this, he looks like, ow, and also somewhat panicked. A second after that, you hear someone bang on the floor from under, as if to say, hey, shut up. And he looks at your group and goes, what else do you want? Shit, I hopefully didn't piss him off. I've been getting noise complaints. I've been trying to do better.
Noise? What are you doing that's so loud?
Just music and movies and stuff. Like
he's annoying, like down to the marrow of his bones.
The neighbor under me gave me a stern talking to last time. I hope he doesn't come up again. The guy's annoying. But I've learned my lesson. I'll try my best to not be whatever I was.
Creep?
Yeah.
A weirdo?
Yeah. And he looks legit ashamed that you're using these words, and rather than the of like, no, it's like, okay, maybe I am a creep.
Yeah. You can be better than this. Maybe.
And if not, we can always find you again.
It's true.
And no
Because
matter
that
how
feels
many
bad,
times you
doesn't
move,
He tries to remain silent at this. And while he's somewhat flopping on the floor, do you guys have anything else to do here, or are we just about wrapped up?
I mean, if there's nothing magical, then he's probably not the source. I guess we could ask if he had any co-conspirators. That's about it.
Oh, yeah, let's ask.
He answers that fairly quickly. no friends or any, close compatriots. Just people online that wanted to be shits effectively. It's not hard to get people to join a hate mob.
Yeah, maybe you should
True.
think on that as well, by the way. Not having any friends. There's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, as he's like thinking of that and nodding, and kind of as you ask the question, he's like, "Well, I don't have any friends that would have done this with me." And he kind of thinks and goes like, "I don't have any friends,
Honestly, that's kind of depressing, but
like in general."
you suck, so it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. The
That
expression,
tracks.
right? The expression is less like "woe is me" and more is like, "Am I the problem?
Yeah.
Are we the bad guys?" So you definitely get the feeling that you hammered your point home.
Good. Job well done, I guess.
Sure. Take a picture of him on the floor, and then we go.
Do you release the fish, Margo?
Yeah, I'll release him.
All right. He kind of flops onto his back, and as you guys are walking at you, snap a picture of him. He's breathing relatively heavily just because.
As he's still like being held onto the floor, basically, and I sent that anonymously to see these nuts.
Excellent. You probably just get a lull back. And as you're all walking out, he turns to look at the pizza that he squished and then landed on. That's probably half on his back, and he just kind of sighs. It's just bread now, just squished bread.
Now, for love of God, go wash up, dear God. I'm glad I didn't bring my blacklight.
This is quite true. You saw one too many body pillows, and your group heads on out, no longer needing to mess with this anymore. It'll definitely be somewhat of a night drive to get back home, but we have indeed taken care of at least this avenue.
Do we know where her honey bun's previous house was?
I would say it was an apartment that's in the general vicinity of where you guys are now. Definitely closer than her other one. Maybe
Check
about
that one out.
Yeah,
Assuming it's not rented out again, I guess.
Oh, it most definitely is. About 30 minutes or so from here. And I can say fairly quickly that you guys need to go too deep into it. It was just another apartment.
Yeah. So nothing in it, like no traces of magical bullshit there either.
Nah, you sense something from the outside. You kind of come to the conclusion it'd be impossible to get the inside, but you get no weird vibes. The device that you brought with you isn't, chirping or calling for you. So you get the feeling that it's relatively clear here.
Well, in that case, it's probably something she brought with her. Some kind of, I don't know, curse, I guess. Or an entity stalking her.
Yeah, but then someone wanted it to stalk her, or she touched something.
Well, or she is responsible for it herself, like I said. But that's easy enough to fix. The problem is, of course, that we have to convince her to let us fix it. Might be a bit weird.
Yeah, she was so jumpy.
If it's a curse, I can definitely get rid of that at least.
And yeah, you guys basically have about 4-5 hours to discuss this as you're heading back. It'll be fairly past midnight by the time you guys get back to your hometown, at least. But we can check a few things off our list. Fortunately, by this point, Carson and Margo, you guys no longer have any harm, so everyone is 0 of 7. Good job. No one's dying anymore.
I'm healthy.
How about I ask my girlfriend if she wants to invite her out to I don't know, girls going out, catch up on things?
Sure. She'll try to do that tomorrow, as obviously, of course, it's late right now. And she still has her contact information. She's not sure if Ed is going to check said venue, but she'll try her best.
Sure. Because my girlfriend does actually have a stats block, I guess. She also works for I.C.S. after all.
Is she a character extension of Kaiba or a separate character?
It's a character extension, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
She has one of the roles that I get as like allies and teammates, I guess.
Very nice.
She's my emotional support.
Nice.
That's cute.
Yes.
All right.
Margot might know her.
If she works at I.C.S, probably.
Because she's also a witch.
She's closer to the spooky side of things.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Like, I want to go with like the story of her mother, or well, her bloodline being a witch authentically is very rare, of course. So I.C.S. basically protects her, or them.
I feel like
in return they get, their help. That's it.
I love that.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
What's her name?
Her full name, or just her nickname, or just how I called her.
What's her nickname?
Kaiba would call her Millie.
Oh, cute. I
Her
just
full name is
think
Mildred, and her entire full name is multiple sentences.
multiple sentences.
You
I
know,
feel like her
authentic
and
witch
Sophie should be
stuff.
friends. Is really what I'm getting at.
Maybe.
So basically, she's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, she has the entire VTuber bullshit with where she is an actual witch. Her character. Nobody knows that in real life she is an actual witch, but of course.
A witch role playing to be a witch. Foo, foo, foo.
Exactly. It works perfectly. She even has one of those really wide-brimmed pointy hats, both in as a VTuber and in real life.
I mean, if you're a witch, you gotta have one.
Of course. It's part of the deal.
Yeah, required.
Uh-huh.
Your birth hat. Here you go. Hell yeah.
But yeah, Margot would probably know her then. We could even say that her mother taught her how to do the witchy stuff. Margot, that is.
Oh,
Your
man.
divinations?
Oh, yeah. Wait, so I just realized I've known this person for probably at least a while now, and I had no
Well,
idea.
you've known her mother for a
Still,
while.
I've known this person, and she had no idea she was dating my brother.
Yeah, I mean, you also didn't know you were working with your brother.
This is such a weird small world.
Damn. Because I think Kaiba has been working with I.C.S. for 8 years now or something?
Damn. I mean, our work takes us out of the office a whole lot, so I guess that's not too weird.
I mean, it wasn't until like, I don't know, half a year ago or something that Kaiba became field certified. He used to be just a information guy.
Sure, that makes sense.
And that's why his mission with Maverick was literally the first mission he ever did.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That must have been something.
Yeah, I would not like to repeat that.
Understandable. Unfortunately, unlikely.
I still don't know what the hell that thing in the basement was, though. The weird slime thing.
I thought it was like leftover feelings.
Something like that, yeah. But what is it, you know?
Well, you're the research guy.
Yeah. That's why I said I still don't know what it is, and it sucks. We're trying to find out. The best theory I have is like emotional ectoplasm. Something.
Sounds about right.
You know, like in Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
The weird sewers with all the slime.
Yeah, exactly. That stuff.
Drowning in feelings.
You know, it's actually weird how accurate Ghostbusters was with our line of work. Most of the things they showed were actually correct.
Who are you gonna call? I.C.S. It doesn't flow well though.
No, it doesn't. It's okay. That's how people don't know about us.
Right, that's
All according to plan.
Yeah. I mean, originally they were going to be called I.C.S. and not Ghostbusters, but they had to change the name because of the tune.
We got a, what do they call it? A cease and desist. We got a little letter from their lawyer. Like, you can't be using this name.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And after all this good stuff, it'll indeed be tomorrow. And Margot, you will get a call from I.C.S. relatively early in the morning. It is your handler. And she says, "Good morning, Margot."
Good morning.
You awake?
You're interrupting my breakfast.
Unfortunately, I'm probably going to be interrupting more than that. I hope you can eat quickly, because we have somewhat of a problem.
Details, yes.
Well, I can run these by you over the phone. You really don't need to come in for this. The reel that you all brought in yesterday, we had it checked on overnight. Now, of course...
Wait.
Let me guess, it was used.
Bingo! Right on the mark.
I sigh very loudly.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like...
Now, I don't know if
sigh
it's...
in unison.
We all sigh. Everyone sighs. Little BFF sighs.
I'm sighing in real life.
Can dogs sigh?
Yes, they can actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can. BFF is mimicking me.
Excellent.
Kiri sighs all the time. She's not a dog,
Yeah,
but...
You do the cute nose blowing thing.
It's because you don't let her get on the table and hit your mic.
I'll have you know that she sighs the most when she's settling down for a nap. So...
I mean, that's a sigh of relief of like, oh, finally I can sleep for the 8th time today.
Which, you know, honestly, like, I respect that immensely. And if I could live that lifestyle, I would.
We all just want to be cats, deep down. Pamper me, please.
I mean, give me any proof that shows that that's not 100% true.
I mean, unless cats grow opposable thumbs and can play video games, I would agree, but...
Oh, you know,
Oh, I suppose there is
damn
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Why'd you have to be reasonable?
Get your logic out of here.
Get it out of there.
I'm sorry, I'm a nerd.
Oh, that'd be very sad. Anyway.
I need my technology.
This is very true. I
Yeah, I
crumble.
like technology too, and I like to read, so.
Smart cat.
Wow. Okay, well, this wasn't an invitation
Do cat
to
buttons
be rational.
do cat buttons work on phones?
Well, I mean, we do know that cats can type. It's just garbage.
Anyway, back to the phone call that we're all sighing at. She essentially tells you, Margot, that yes, it seems that someone already viewed the tape before. You said you pulled it from a family of 3, yes?
It was the mother.
Sorry, what?
The mother watched it.
You know this?
Yeah, she looked at it funny.
And you just gave it to us?
Why wouldn't we give it to you?
Why wouldn't we?
No, I mean without telling us first.
No, I texted you guys. Did you not get it?
You're like, it's a landline. We don't get texts on there.
My handler had better effing be able to get texts.
Margot, that's a fax machine?
Ah, shit, wrong number.
Oh, God.
I still texted you.
Every time Kaiba enters a room with the fax machine, he cringes.
This one's special. You know why.
That's
Don't
what
question
they have
it.
said.
Anyway.
I don't care how magical this thing is, it is still obscene.
Don't say that near it, please. You'll anger
Oh
it.
no, they can smell fear, but not the anger. Trust me.
Anyway, yes, she upon confirming that you had a feeling that she was associated with it. The handler essentially says, "Well, we don't necessarily need you to watch it to confirm if you're fairly certain it's her, but there is, we'll say, distressing footage on the tape. We didn't try to destroy it. We merely watched it. Things of this nature, especially this rare, we take them one step at a time. I'm sure you understand. But, well, this one's a little concerning, we'll say. Very difficult to make out precisely what's going on. It almost looks as if, and I do mean we had to watch this multiple times. It's footage, incredibly grainy, broken up, as if water was spilled on it or something. Truly painful to watch. But someone is sitting on a couch or a chair or something, and the camera, whoever's recording, slowly gets closer and closer to this individual. The person turns around a few times, doesn't see the cameraman for whatever reason, and the very end of this clip, whatever it is, the subject shouts. Now, there's essentially no audio. It's just static for the most part, just this droning noise. But we could hear her shout in pain. It scratched her, stabbed her. She isn't dead. There isn't an absurd amount of blood. We assume she's still alive, and if you saw her, great. That means she's still alive. So that's fantastic confirmation. But that's it. We watch it. It is literally a 15-second clip of someone sitting at a couch. The cameraman gets closer, scratches her neck. She turns around, shouts, and it repeats over and over and over.
Question.
Answer.
So the red reel is just, it's a video of her?
Yeah, can you describe the woman or the
Watching-
couch?
The red reel?
It's really shit quality, Margo. I'm sure you understand. We get it from different angles, but we never see her face. We see her from the side. She had a ponytail, it looked like. She was wearing an apron. As the tape plays, it plays from separate angles every single time, and it's sure to never actually show her face, whether it be to deterioration or the angle. We can never actually see the subject.
I mean, did Marissa have a ponytail?
Yes. The various bits the handler can share with you guys, the descriptions definitely fit Marissa.
I feel like I'm a little confused as to what the red reel is.
The thing is, I.C.S doesn't know either, really. These blank ones, we don't know how they work.
So, but what it seems like is she watched it, right? And now she's on the tape?
Yeah, now she's stuck in it.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, God.
Or part of her is at least, or she's tied to it somehow, or, you know.
Aren't these supposed to kill the subject?
Yeah,
Eventually, usually.
that's the concerning part. Normally, these play out either in your I don't want to say standard snuff film. God, that's morbid. But yeah, effectively, it's just straight up torture. It's someone stalking someone else, then murdering them. This is our first, I guess,
Live person.
Precisely, yes. She doesn't die at the end of the tape. As I mentioned, it plays over and over.
But they scare somebody.
Wow.
Something scares her, right? And
yeah, something scares her and she jumps. We assume it's the same location, the same couch. The footage is atrocious to view, honestly.
Usually, the victims, you find them in the same state as they ended up in the video, right?
Precisely, yes. If we even find them at all.
Will the circumstances
that case-
always match the clip?
You might want to keep checking out the video and see if it changes.
Oh, we've run it by multiple times. It's
Yeah.
unfortunately
maybe it doesn't change until it gets watched by somebody else.
we had a few people watch it, and adding
More so if it's different tomorrow or gets longer, even a second, that's an issue.
right, which is precisely what we were checking. Unfortunately, we had the crew up pretty late. I didn't see it myself, but I have all the descriptions written down here. First, we had one person watch it, then two, then we had two different people watch it. It seems the length of the video remained the same. Every single time, nothing changed.
All right. I think that we should have somebody keep an eye on that lady.
Yeah, I have a question. If we let it be, will she actually die or like eventually die to this thing, or will it just haunt her nightmares?
I don't think we know enough about that to answer that question.
Precisely. How did she seem when you spoke with her?
She seemed okay
She seemed
from the-
cheery.
until she saw that we were holding the red reel and she looked kind of off.
Did she have a scratch or any like large band-aid on her?
I mean, she was pretty covered up, right?
Not that I've seen.
Hmm.
I mean, did anyone check her out actually, or?
Not-
She was gardening. She couldn't have been too covered up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, people like to protect their skin from sunburn.
I mean, I
Maybe
guess
she-
that's
maybe
fair.
she had one of those full gardening suits, you know?
From what she was wearing, it was essentially like a like a work dress. I'm sure there's a name for it. Apron, outside shoes, and the dress was long sleeve. It was rolled up to her elbows, and she was not wearing gloves.
And her neck.
Oh. I mean, she likes working outside.
Yeah, long hair, side ponytail, so you can't see her neck. The back of her neck, at least. The front of her neck looked fine.
I still feel like we need to get somebody to watch her.
Yeah, get someone to check her out, I guess.
All right. Well, in terms of speaking with her again, are the three of you able to do so?
I mean,
technically,
we
we have multiple things to do still, but
Emmanuel doesn't want to see us again, though, right?
But we did
yeah, we did kind of piss them
also.
off. Or
We
I
also did just tell that person that
Margot
we were
did.
like done with whatever it was we were doing.
I mean, we could go back that we didn't find something and we need to like preemptively put some pesticides down or something. I don't know.
Pesticides? Oh, you broken his bug folk?
Yep.
Perfect.
I.C.S.
Does I.C.S. have any bug related items that we could borrow that aren't malicious if controlled properly?
Like raid? What are you talking about?
No, I mean to make the house actually infested.
Oh,
Temporarily.
you want to actually put bugs in their home?
We needed a reason to go back.
I mean, it might have been helpful to have maybe they'll call us back, you know?
Yeah, they might.
Possibly. We'll say, Margot, the one artifact I have will for sure, guaranteed, spread an infestation, but you've had to deal with it before, and I'm sure you're aware of how much of a hassle that one was. Realistically, you can probably just find some bugs and just sneak them in their house, or maybe something from the outside. I don't think you want anything supernatural from this sense, at least.
Alright, that's fair. I was just thinking the easy way.
Oh, it'll be easy at first, but then guess who's going to be putting it away again?
I'm prepared for that, I suppose. I did defeat it once already.
True, but budget and all that.
Yeah.
I assume the Moscow has it doesn't copy things like that, right? If
Copy
I don't
what?
know about them. Like wounds on the neck.
It copies what you know, basically. So if
Yeah.
you saw the wound or a scar, it would copy it. But other than that, she wraps up essentially saying, if you guys find anything, please let her know. If they find anything that changes the tape, they're not going to be obviously viewing it 24/7. They don't have time for that. But they will definitely let you know. If you guys need the tape, or if you need to come view it, let her know. But other than that, they will, of course, have it in safekeeping for now.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, and with all that, what is our next move?
There were some things we still had on the list, right? Including Honey Bun's weird hunting,
Yeah.
and also the weird groups that have been experimenting, I guess, on people. And then there's Finn still.
Yeah, we still don't know what happened to Finn.
Well,
And
Finn and
then-
Finn and the experiments are part of the overarching big story, I think.
And then there's the possibility that the cult that Kaiba used to be part of was also one of those experiment groups.
Well, you were part of it. Do you want to follow up on it?
How am I supposed to do that? Everyone's dead except for the leader, who is in a insane house. Mental
I
institute.
mean, you know where to find him then.
Yes, he won't be able to say anything, though. He was literally out of the world. He was entirely incoherent. I don't think I can speak to him.
Hey, since you're talking about artifacts, do you have any memory intrusion artifacts?
I don't want to deal with those. Preferably. I know how they work.
Damn it. All right, well, what about your cult's house? Ooh, place of business, whatever.
They didn't have one. They used one of those centers. Like, rent a room, basically. Except things went wrong and everyone died. Except me and the guy.
Police report?
That sounds rough.
I mean, police report, sure. But I.C.S. might have some files on it as well. I'm pretty sure they checked it out. That's how they found me after all.
Were there any other leads in what was it, James's notes?
Regarding what precisely?
Other connected locations to investigate.
Nothing that really sparks interest. You do know, I don't know if I was super clear, that you do need to go check back on Marissa. They're not going to send anybody.
No, we can just send one person for that.
And not Margot.
Yeah.
Carson is the face of the group, right? The charming guy.
It is true, I am.
Also, he was not responsible for, breaking someone's desk.
Uh-huh.
Unlike the two of us. And all you really need to do is check out the scar, right? And see how she's doing.
Yep.
Okay, you basically want to do that alone then? Just head on out there?
Well, I feel like I'd like to have some backup, just in case.
I mean, I don't think we need any. I mean, we can be
Yeah,
on standby, I guess. We can sit in the car.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
Potentially, I could also give you my special magic finding tool of undescript nature, so you can see if there's any residue on her.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's a bug finding tool. Let me scan you real quick.
It's a bug finding tool.
Are you a
What's
bug?
the bug?
All
It might be
bugs.
inside you.
There's lots of bugs. I got one setting for each bug, so it's going to be a while. Very thorough, though.
God.
Alrighty, with
It detects all bugs in a 1 mile radius.
wow, there's
It's gonna
bugs.
take a while.
It worked. So
It's literally blaring all the time.
excellent. What was the name of the fake company that you came up with again, Margot? Insect
Cleaning services.
Perfect. Okay, we suit back up with insect cleaning services. Actually, that's a good point. Carson, you're coming up suited up, I assume, on official business to say, hey, here's our follow up.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. As you swing on up by, not too far away, as mentioned before, you guys got this information super early in the morning, so it is just prior to noon when you arrive. You notice that the car is gone, and by this point, you don't see anyone outside. It is a weekday, so Jack is most likely off at school. So one of the vehicles seems to be currently missing.
Hopefully it's Dad.
All right, I assume you go up
You
alone,
seem
Carson?
like a work at home kind of guy, honestly.
Yep.
Excellent. As you approach the house, Carson, you knock, ring the bell, and after a moment, you can hear her shoes clicking across the tile. She's most definitely home. And you hear click, click as the door is unlocked. And there's some hesitation upon her opening the door. And as she swings it open, the original cheery nature that she just exuded is still there, but subsides slightly. As she's got some crazy bags under her eyes. She probably hasn't had a chance to conceal them just yet. She kind of gives you the half eye poke, and then upon recognizing you, opens, hits you with a smile, goes, "Oh, good morning. You're back. Were there bugs?"
Yeah, I'm just here for a follow up. It's pretty standard for our company.
She nods. Just you?
Yeah, it's just me. I mean, we didn't see anything last time, so no need for a whole crew.
All right.
Y-
I'm home
you
alone. Is it
good?
just
Are you?
you? Am
Oh
I?
yeah, it is just me. Sorry, I didn't realize you would be here alone.
She kind of laughs that off. And when you say, "Are you good?" You notice, Carson, that you ask in a very genuine way, and the phrasing is, I would definitely say, weird for a an
Oh,
exterminator
sorry.
to be asking.
Whoops.
That's fine though, because when you say that, her mask slips for a moment as if she wants to say no, but she shakes that off and she says, "But of course, I'm doing perfectly fine." And as she says that, she most likely unconsciously to herself reaches up with her left hand and goes to scratch at the side of her neck. And that is where we shall pause the session.
Oh no, she's a bug.